Hey everybody, welcome to Strength Coach TV, the show where we take you inside some of the country's best fitness facilities, give you a tour, then we sit down with the owners and talk a little bit of shop. My name's Anthony Rena. I want to remind you, click below on continuefit.com to sign up for the Success Series, 5 in-depth audio interviews on success in the fitness business with Mike Boyle, Geraldine Cooper-Smith, Don Saladino, Ron McKeefrey, and Alan Cosgrove. Click below. Sign up. It's free. Just got to sign up, and you'll have access to those audio interviews. All right, for episode 41, we're heading up to Cortland Manor to Massey and Machado. Guy Massey, Craig Machado, doing some great things from an athletic performance perspective. That's their facility, but they've started to venture off into some general population stuff. 2 things here with these guys. Great study in the use of space. They're using the space. It's really interesting. You'll see when you get the tour. And really, they're using a great multidisciplinary approach with the chiro and the PT and the open floor plan. And then they have some acupuncture, massage. So it's a really interesting location. And these guys are doing some great things. So let's head up to Cortland Manor. Hey guys, all right, we are in Cortland Manor. I'm here with Craig Machado, Guy Massey and Machado. Boys, thanks for doing this.
Thank you very much, Ann.
All right. Let's go. What's the square footage here?
It's about 3,600 on the first floor, pushing maybe 3,800, and then we have about another 2,000 square feet upstairs.
Yeah, then we got outside too, which we'll explore.
Yeah.
How long you been in this location?
We're just about a year now, right?
About a year right now.
A year. And how long has the business been?
Well, that's a long story, but we'll make it short. I've been in the business over 20 years, kind of hooked up with Craig. The business of Massey Machado, about a few years old.
Okay.
We've been together before that in another business for about 5 years. So as under our own banner, we've been developing the business for about 3 years now.
Okay, where was the other location under your banner?
It was out in Mayapack. Actually, it was only about 20 minutes from here, Mayapack, New York.
Okay, cool.
And Peekskill.
And now we live in Peekskill.
Yeah.
All right, and you have a second location in White Plains.
Yes.
Correct.
And you work with a couple of therapists.
PT, chiro.
Chiro.
Acupuncture, massage.
Yeah.
Been out golfing with those guys. Oh man, it was a disaster.
It's tough.
Disaster.
It's tough.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Who comes here? Who's the member?
Well, we don't sell general baseline memberships, so really Passage here is individual performance coaching, which is a fancy word for personal training.
Okay.
We also have a lot of athletes. We have a lot of return to play athletes, return to work clientele also, coming off an injury.
Yep.
And we also have athletic performance classes, group fitness classes.
Yeah. Just saw Craig working with a couple ladies as well, so you definitely have some general pop as well, right?
We have, like I said, it goes anywhere from athletes to, your 45-year-old woman looking to get back in shape to your dad who wants to get back to athleticism. We really cover the whole gamut.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So with the memberships, like right now, I mean, you can get one-on-one. Is it semi-private? What's that profile like? What's the service offerings?
Well, we kind of try to streamline the service offering. It'll fall into either individual performance coaching, it'll fall into a class model, or it'll fall into an athletic performance model or athletic development long term. So we try to keep like 3 models, and within there is kind of packages you can buy, but individual performance, athletic performance, and like return to play. Cool.
Now, this area on this road, this is Route 6, right?
This is 202.
202. I always get the 2. A lot of times they're together, right?
Yes.
6 and 202. Great location in terms of traffic, right?
Beautiful.
But you don't really care because you don't even have a sign out there. I mean, it's tough to get in. When you don't know where you're going, man. Come on.
It's tough to get a sign around here, put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it is, but honestly, and maybe this will speak sort of to the audience a bit, is we're a destination location.
Yeah.
We're not a mailer type advertising business.
Yeah.
It's really a destination location, word of mouth, reputation, credibility, and it's been good. People find us, and we're building our fences.
Absolutely. I was kidding also because at 5 Iron Fitness, I never had a sign outside. People will be like, "What? How come you don't have a sign?" I said, "Listen, first of all, I don't want the tire kickers coming in. I wasn't set up. I didn't have somebody at the front desk who was kind of vetting those people, right? Because
Right.
you get some maniacs, off the street.
Absolutely.
And then, sometimes if you don't have that person and you're training and somebody comes in, you want to give them the time to talk to them about your programs and your services, and you don't want to interrupt your sessions. So I think the signs can be overrated as well. So
Yeah, I definitely think to speak to one of those points is our client will actually have done their research, but by the time they get to us,
Yeah.
they know what they're stepping into. So that's good. They've already done the research. They've already kind of come accustomed to what we're trying to do. So they basically come in looking to make a purchase.
absolutely. All right, cool. Let's get a tour.
Good. So people will enter in here, whether they have a session scheduled with myself or Craig. They'll come in, they'll put down their belongings. We don't have a fob system, we don't have a card system, but they will check in and let us know we're here. They sort of know that if we're in the middle of something, that they can have a seat, and they would wait for their session. And actually, when I say wait for their session, just wait for an appropriate time to pass through. And we don't like the client to burn their time foam rolling. So one of the things we like is that they come in and they sort of do their soft tissue prep work on their own, because we just feel like that's once they learn it, they'll do it
We tend
themselves.
to ask people to come in about 10 to 15 minutes early, hit a little foam roll, hit a stretch on their own. Sometimes they'll stick them on a vibration plate, get loose on their own, so we can kind of just get to the meat of it all,
That's ideal. We all want that. How much does that happen? Do they comply with that?
About 75% of them do.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We still have some people who, if their session's at 5 o'clock, at 5:01 they're kicking through the door, dropping
Yeah.
their bags and running in.
Yeah.
And that kind of falls on them at that point.
We always tell people too, and if there's younger trainers out there, the low risk stuff can be unsupervised.
Yep.
Foam rolling, low risk,
Yeah,
but we're still going to do the locomotion, the dynamic warm up under supervision. I don't care how long they've been around.
Cool.
So they would continue, and depending upon what they're going to be doing, and Craig can kind of talk about our section here that we've kind of coined it the individual performance training corner, because when the room gets congested, we can handle about up to 30 people in here comfortably, and we'll find sometimes I'll be working with the athletes, and Craig, you can tell them what you kind of have at your disposal down here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's our main weights are down here. If you can almost see this line of demarcation right here, where that white is.
Yeah.
I vehemently insist that children don't walk past that line, and because get a $high client and they can deal with the room, but they don't want a 14-year-old kid bumping into them, bothering them. They want their private time, so we kind of keep this area to them. Anything they really need, I bring over here. They don't have to. Once they're here, they don't leave this section unless they really want to run the bathroom or anything. They exist here. Everything's at their disposal. The kids have to work for it because they're kids.
But at the same token, we find that the client, let's say out of sports or just a personal training client, is encouraged by the atmosphere of having
Yes.
kids around them who are kind of progressing towards something. And by design, the way the facility was set up is the client here can still have a strip, a turf, to do some speed work, do some sled work, do some locomotion. So it's a pretty good design. I mean, and as we continue on through here, we really have two main facility design partners that have really partnered up with us. Number one, I have a long-standing relationship with Perform Better. Most of the stuff here is tagged up with that. Our custom racks were built by Total Strength and Speed. So we've just basically stayed within those two companies, and you'll see a lot of the things around here are basically staples, what you do need around a gym. Kettlebell section, medicine balls, and then we kind of have a little other section where somebody gifted us some dumbbells, right?
This is kind of, we kind of refer to this as the dumbbell graveyard. These are secondhand dumbbells, stuff we picked up at tag sales. Just, you always need some overflow equipment.
Yeah.
So the times where we have, 30 kids in here from a team, we've got some some weaker kids who can't lift as much. We have the equipment. It's all cleaned up and everything, but it's a little bit of our cheaper stuff, so to speak.
Well, guys, really quick, with this TV here, seeing some quotes and everything, then I saw, there's the compression socks. What's the goal with that? What are you using that for? Anything else as well? Or?
Yeah. Actually, for cardiac output, we have heart rate. We have a heart rate monitor system.
Okay, cool.
And what I also do is, you'll notice there's some grid wall up on that wall.
Oh yeah.
We do some vectorizing. We also look at biomechanics. So I'll dart fish sessions, and I'll when I do my orientations, we'll just take a look at it, and we could play it back for a large group to take a look at what the movements look like, and we can actually draw on dart fish, and it's a pretty cool little section. So yeah, it's not just there for aesthetics. It actually has a purpose.
And quotes.
Yeah.
Yes, mostly Guy Massey.
Guy Massey quotes.
All right, thanks.
All right, here we go.
All right, so as we work back through, we have 4 main rigs. We kind of worked with the room, went linear on the design. This is the Big Daddy. That's kind of a more meat and potatoes rig. And then as you see, as you get down towards the corner, that rig down back there kind of got shrunk down. They're all custom designs because we actually have one of our BJJ athletes up there, Matteo BJJ. He's an international competitor. We kind of gave him an opportunity to have a BJJ academy here on off hours. So that entire backside, believe it or not,
oh, really?
it gets it gets converted, and he pulls out the flexi roll mats that we have, and we still did have to go to 2 ancillary racks here for a lot of the lighter work because, just some days, the way the programming runs, there's a big demand for racks, so we could put a lighter end of the spectrum on these racks and still have plenty of operational space here.
Cool. Is that a tsunami bar over there?
Yeah, that's a tsunami bar. We have a couple of tsunami bars rigged up over here. Probably one of the cooler things to take a look at is where it's rigged up over here. And tsunami bar is a new flexible barbell, which is designed for speed, amplitude, oscillation, and stability training. And we've been having great efficacy with it. And this is just something we have, and there's about 15 different protocols and progressions off this, but as you guys can see, this is flexible. So, you could just do something as simple as stability pressing, which is obviously going to work your entire trunk torso. We have linemen that'll come in and practice setting. So it's a really good tool that we've been using, that we've built literally about upwards of 500 different protocols and sub-protocols for every sport, return to play, dynamic stability, dynamic capacity. So they're really cool item that we have, and we have a very close relationship with Tsunami Bar.
All right. And you do some of the teaching for them, right?
Yeah, actually, we're deemed an international training and education center, and we do get to do a lot of the teaching for them. I have a long history. Craig's kind of also been being brought up on the oscillation training,
yep.
And we now kind of get to do a lot of speaking for these guys.
They just had a guy out in Germany, actually, working with some national athletes. We worked with the Philadelphia Eagles before.
Yeah, that was cool.
So they sent us around a little bit for it.
Cool.
And Perform Better, the summit was all oscillation and stability training.
Nice. What about, we got over here, just really, let's take a quick look really here. Like we said, you partner, your physical therapist in Cairo, Matt.
And Gus, Dr. Sophos.
Yeah.
We're all friends. We're eclectic. No, honestly though, Matt, and Matt's a kooky dude, but he's a complete genius PT. Dr. Sophos is a wonderful chiropractor, and they're not just typical PT chiro. They have some specialties with movement, and what's really good for us anyway is, somebody gets treated acute stages for an injury or post-operative, and we're literally across the room to say, hey, I know they're coming into return to play, timeout, hand up, hey PT, come here, and vice versa. It's a great working relationship.
And you always hear the term, don't be afraid to refer out as a coach and trainer. And to us, referring out is literally tapping them out on the shoulder and having them come over and check someone. So
yeah, very cool.
That process is 10 seconds to us.
Absolutely. Let's talk about right in here. We're gonna pull up. You got those the 3 walls down there.
Oh yeah, man. Those are the lanes.
Yeah, the lanes. People can just kind of.
They're the lanes.
This is a study in use of space. Amazing. Just even like behind you guys with the storage and being able to have PTs in here and the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. And,
it's flow.
It's unbelievable.
It's flow. It's scheduling.
Practice.
But yeah, lots of practice.
Lots of trial and
You know, and I think over here, Anthony, something that should be noted is one of the reasons we have these targets or these lanes is, you know, when an athlete plays a sport, they're really playing in their own space, even though it's on a big field. And we preach corridor, we preach hallway, operating and taking your corridor where you go. So we feel like we can run 3 athletes at a really high tempo, and the higher level they are, they should be able to operate in less and less and less space.
Very cool, very cool. And you know, it helps. Let's take a walk outside really quick.
Yeah, man.
You guys have this whole parking lot.
Yes.
Not all the time though, right? I mean, you have, what about in the afternoon?
We have Craig days, so Craig will like to take overflow out here.
Yeah, I mean, we come outside. The real way I do it, to be honest with you, I find if I stand directly in the middle of the parking lot and coach, people just kind of drive around me.
Okay.
And I can do what I want out here. That's really
Okay.
Well, note to self and note to other guys coming up. Don't be afraid to ask for outdoor space, because if you ask for a little delineation along a wall or something, you may be surprised. You might get it, and it will expand your operating territory.
Very cool. All right, well, you guys, speaking of expansion, you have more room upstairs.
Yeah.
Too, right? Did you guys start out with upstairs?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did, and it was just offices, and now, as you'll see, because we have the PT, the chiro, the acupuncture, the yoga, the massage therapy, a space that we've kind of developed, but now we also have this involved in athletic yoga. So let's go upstairs. So, Kara Sachs is our main yoga partner. This is technically her studio.
Okay.
And she is a wonderful teacher. She goes based off of vinyasa, but in working with us, she's adapted patterns, she's adapted curriculum specifically for the athlete.
Cool.
So what's really cool is we advocate for our athletes to get up here at least once a week.
Is that part of, but wait, does she rent from you, or it's all part of it?
There's a rent space agreement, but we're kind of infusing the business end of it back into becoming one, because, you know, really she's a partner, and as she continues to grow and develop more towards the athletic end, because she's a yoga genius.
Okay.
She's so adaptable. You know, she's just going to be part of our long-term plan.
Yep.
She's got, she's got a little office in here,
Okay.
which is developed.
Very cool.
And she's got another changing room in here.
We call this the VIP bathroom.
Yeah, VIP bathroom, or AKA our retreat.
Yes.
And then this is an undeveloped room, which will be for the acupuncture. And back there, believe it or not, we have another 1,000 or so square feet that we can put offices and desks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and then you saw storage back there before.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're very fortunate with this
Very
space.
cool. Let's go sit down and talk a little bit of business.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Awesome. Love the place. Like I said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the analogy you used for the space?
I said we're kind of like Native American hunters. We like to use every piece of the carcass.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about that space and about this idea of this multidisciplinary approach with, you know, having the chiro, having the PT, having the yoga. What's kind of the challenge? There's got to be some challenges in there, and I know, you know, Gus. I always want to say Guy, but Gus and Maddie, they're in White Plains as well, so there's that piece of it at least. So they're not always here.
No.
But what's the challenge with this kind of logistical piece that you have to deal with everybody?
Well, you voice your challenge.
I mean, the biggest part of it is just kind of getting people to buy into that being the model. You know, most of our athletes get it. They're excited. They see a PT. They know automatically they're a little safer.
Yeah.
Everything's going to go the way they want to. It's more like the older clientele that Matt or Gus will get coming in. Sometimes, you know, someone walks in, they see a kid running a sprint, they're a little taken aback.
Yeah.
But it's all about exposing them to us, the kids, keeping everybody, you know, in line with each other, and that's a big part of it. We actually get introduced to everyone that walks in.
Accountability.
Yeah. So
It's accountability.
And also the open floor plan, I would think, like having the treatment right there. Some people are used to going in that little room.
98% of the people love it.
Okay.
They love it. They love
Yeah.
to see where they want to be. It's like a nexus. They want to be there. But I think having started way before Craig is that back then it was like I had to reach out to the orthopedist. I had to reach out to the PT. I had to reach out to the chiro and all this. And everything was so adversarial at the time. And I'm big at not crossing bounds, and the strength coach should refer to the PT when appropriate. The PT should refer to the strength coach, and then work together. So as I started to kind of evolve, and it's not my idea, people do it, I said, can we get people in the same room from different disciplines? Here was the most difficult thing, Anthony, finding people you can work with.
I agree. It's impossible.
But here's my fault as a businessman. People always fault me on this. They say, business is business, never do business with friends. The thing with me is I can't do business with somebody unless they are my friend.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how this has evolved, and I think there's an appreciation for each other. Yeah. And like Craig says, I'm huge on accountability because I get a little wacky sometimes. I think we all do. And it's good to have somebody there to say, hey, do you really think... and it goes both ways, and it's awesome,
The challenge, though, with you guys is essentially, obviously, you're way older.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. But, I'm your age. Go ahead.
No, but you're both trainers. So at some point, a lot of times when we looked at like a Cressy and Pete Dupuis or Mike Boyle and Bob Hansen, they're really doing different roles. And that's where a lot of times the partnership thrives, whereas you guys, the challenge has to be, okay, programming. You're both, program. You're both trainers. How does that work?
I mean, you could speak to that a little bit.
Simply enough. I mean, the truth of the matter is, guy's about 10 years older than me. He's been doing it about 10 years longer than me. And I don't walk around with an ego. So I kind of always refer up. I make sure we're on the same page and everything. Yep. He kind of runs things. We just kind of we bounce everything off each other. And really, we do kind of cover different roles in the way of he handles some of the higher end business aspect. I handle the social media. Yeah. We come together in the middle. We make decisions together. What ends up really happening is we always joke, but he ends up being like the dad, and I end up being like the older brother. Yeah, kind of both take a familiar role in the place.
And it's cooperative. It has to be cooperative, honestly. Yeah. It has to be where people can kind of bounce things off each other. And I think one of the ways we found to make it easier was we tried to, from a business respect, we tried to kind of break it up. And Craig sort of focuses on local initiatives, which is your home-based stuff. And then I focus on national and international initiatives, which is like, here's the exposure. It comes back and he kind of takes over, and then we get together on it and we cultivate the credibility, the relationship, the brand, the reputation.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Craig. And it's only because recently I've been starting to wonder about social media and how effective it really is. Like, for example, like Twitter. I've noticed with Twitter the amount of likes that I'm looking not just on mine but on other people's kind of going down. Twitter's not as popular as it was. Instagram, you put something on Instagram, holy cow, right? How effective is the social media? I know we feel like we all need it, but is it really effective?
Honestly, it's a necessity, but it's not. I truly don't believe it's what people think it is. I used to have a side business working on SEO writing, which is search engine optimization.
Yeah.
It never really gets you what people are going to tell you it's going to get. Yeah. It helps. You want your clients to see what's going on. You want. It's almost like a business card. You want to have it.
I agree.
But you can't mail your business card to everybody you ever meet. You can't mail it to everyone you don't know. So really what ends up happening a lot of times is people give away too much on social media, or they blast social media too hard, or they rely too heavily on social media. Yeah. You can have all the likes, all the friends, all the followers in the world. If your product's no good, it doesn't matter. And people lose sight of that. Really, we start with our product, we build our product, and we subsist a lot on word of mouth. And to us, that's been the strongest component.
I don't think and I agree with Craig. I don't think you want to dilute your product just to post things. Yeah. And it's like social media gives you a bigger footprint, but it's like sending envelopes around the world. Not everybody's going to put dollars in it and send the envelope back to you.
Added to which also, with all due respect to the way society is, your standard 19, 20, 22-year-old who's on social media all day, they might not have the money to, get a private coach, get a personal trainer. True. They don't have the kids to come into class. Yeah. A 45-year-old man's not looking at Instagram all day. He has things to do.
Agreed.
He wants to hear, Tommy got results there, little Tommy got results there. That's what he wants to hear, and that's what we focus on.
Yeah, working in the golf world, I polled my clients first. Does anybody have a Facebook profile? And 2 of them did. Out of like 35 people, 2 people had a Facebook. And this is 3, 4, 5 years ago only. It's not that long ago. Facebook's been around for a while. Never mind Twitter or Instagram. None of them are on it. So when Snapchat came around, I wasn't trying to work with junior golfers anyway at the time.
Exactly.
So you have to remember. I think everybody wants to jump in. And you're not really thinking who's your demographic, who are your people, who's coming in, and every business is word of mouth, and that's the way everybody, and that's where we really need to focus. But let's talk a little bit about expansion. Like I said, this is a testimony to using the space. You have a great space here, but you guys are kicking butt, and you guys can be in a much bigger space and have your way. And you and I have talked about this many times at breakfast, but we didn't have the camera on. So talk to me about expansion or possible expansion. You have outside, but that's only in the summer.
Right.
We're in New York. In the winter, you don't have that. Talk to me about your thoughts or maybe with possibly expanding.
I mean, a lot of people get that Shark Tank mentality, and the first question is, well, how do you scale? And one of the issues we've always had is, we just don't hire people off the street. Like anybody who's an ancillary trainer, development coordinator has come through our program. I happen to have 4 sons, so I have a nice generation set up behind us, and Craig can attest they're very equipped to come kind of jump in. But expansion for us has always been a catch-22 because I will not dilute the product.
Yeah.
I got to meet Alan Cosgrove for the first time at the summit, and like him and I hit it off because his building fences mentality is dead on. I mean, I will globally love to offer people anything I can offer them, but in reality's sake, you want to build fences where your place is packed and then just kind of operate that way. When you start to expand, if you can do it without diluting the model, then that's great. But a lot of times you just can't, because you're gonna have to go to a resource that sometimes didn't come from within. So honestly, how do we expand? Maybe that puts Craig at one place, me at another place, and my son at another place. Which is okay, because everybody's gonna be in the same program, same methodology. If you start bringing people in that didn't come through your program, they may have their own goals, their own objectives, and that's okay. But you just don't want a special interest to develop apart from what you're trying to do.
We always say we don't want to become New York Sports Club. We don't want 10 trainers in here fighting over clients, doing 10 different things. One guy does this, one guy does that. Everything gets vetted between us. So the more control we have, to us, the better.
What about a bigger space or a different space? Is that something you guys want?
Eventually.
Okay. Bigger,
next couple of years, bigger definitely.
He loves this place. He loves this place.
I like the location.
I'm
just in love with this landmark.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way as you too, because when I was in 5-iron, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else either. I was like, oh man, it was part of my man cave too. I play hockey down there and stuff. But no, I really did grow accustomed to that space, and I like the flow. And I'm a kind of guy who I would like come in on my off hours and be like, wait a minute. People walking this way, I gotta move this here, I mean, I get crazy with that stuff, but I think, again, you guys have done a great job with the space. But I know being outside, I know the business that you're doing, and I know you could definitely go into double the size of the space.
I mean, we could, and, they accuse me of thinking too big sometimes, but the reason I like big, because I feel like we keep it affordable for people. Like, we have technology, but we don't have technology where we have to pass the cost on to the customer. So if I could double the size of the space, I can make our methodology more available to the community, which is a win for me, win for them. And we might not have all the, I always say I don't have all the answers, but I will provoke thought. And we've been doing these things long enough where we feel like the model we have works, just like a Boyle's model works, And as long as you get this message across, why not to twice as many people or 3 times as many people? Then we have the scaling paradox. How do you do it without diluting the product?
Very cool. Well, you guys do an amazing job here.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Anytime, my man.
And going over, talking about the challenges, talking about, just what's happening in this world of strength and conditioning and owning a gym. So thanks for
Yeah,
doing this,
man.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.